Recording. All right. Session one of our unnamed Planescape game. Uh, so to set the scene, the uh the city of Sigil, which is a pronunciation that I will have to get used to, uh, it is a very dense city. Uh, Despite the relatively small area, um, for I think it's a 5 mile radius of the Taurus. Um, it is incredibly densely packed with buildings. And as you walk down the streets, when you look to either side of the Taurus, you see the ground gently slope up until buildings seem to be 90-degree angle from where your position is, and even to begin to curl up a little bit to where buildings seem to be almost upside down. If you look into the sky, the other directions you notice curve up at a much more gradual slope and go off into the distance until you can see them curl back into a finer and finer slender ring that cuts across the the section of the sky, meaning that really the only sky that you have are these two sort of bulbs on either side of the torus that splits down the middle. And because of the interesting planar geometry of this place, adding to the crowdedness, many of the doors into each building actually go into multiple different rooms potentially. Um, has anybody here seen Howl's Moving Castle?
Yes.
So, for those of you unfamiliar, Howl's Moving Castle, the door has a ticker where if you turn it and you open up the door, it emerges into a different place depending on where that ticker is. This is almost the reverse of that. Having a particular key and opening the door will open it into a certain room or dwelling. And then exiting from that door is going to be a portal that is shared by the other inhabitants that technically inhabit the same space, but from a different dimension. And so, technically, because of that, it does create some congestion at times because if the door is open, then, obviously one occupant can come in and out, but those that might also be inhabiting the extraplanar space have to wait until that door is shut before they can actually use their door. This creates a need to establish community and some interesting ways of communicating because this is also the same for the windows. Each window in the building is set up into a sectional depending on how many planar spaces occupy that same building. So if there are three planar spaces occupying a single building, each plane of glass is going to be separated into three sections, allowing each section to be opened up into that particular space, which means that by opening all three of the occupants opening their side of the window would effectively allow them to communicate with each other in some way. So it creates an interesting character to the city because even with as large of an area that it covers, it is even more densely populated than one would expect given all of that. So the streets are very often quite full of people, um, and carriages and other forms of transportation moving down the roads and through the alleyways. And so we are in the merchant sector of Sigil. And there we find ourselves in an interesting dwelling, uh, which is unique in that it's one of the few buildings that doesn't share any extra planar spaces with others. This is a building that is strictly for the use of the sole occupant with a sign out front, uh, blue and true. And so, uh, I'm sorry, how do you say your character's name, Kurt?
Øðåʷmaþ.
Uthermeth?
Yes, close enough. He'll keep correcting people. It doesn't matter.
Perfect. So, so Fisk and Uthermeth, why don't you describe this little place that you've carved out for yourself and what it is that your two characters are doing currently?
You want to start, Frank?
I mean, why don't you start and I'll jump in.
So Frank helpfully drew up a whole sign for our detective agency that we've been running. Our characters are two blue-skinned wizards who run this blue and true investigation or inquisitive service where we take on jobs from people who want to hire us to solve relatively minor mysteries in most cases. Like there's the "is my wife cheating on me" thing that I'm sure comes up, but also sometimes actual crimes that need some solution. We're both extremely smart, but otherwise we have our flaws. My character does have a relationship with a fraternity of order, and so does have some authority to arrest people if need be. I don't know what background you picked, Frank.
Yeah, I'm more base. I unintentionally came here. Like basically, I'm lost, and you basically helped me, and now we're helping each other. I feel so. I'm more helping you out as much as I can, but you're sort of taking the lead with these investigations, as I'm not really great with people and cities and crowds. Spending my entire life in a forest up until about I think we determined maybe about a year ago, maybe 6 months ago that at least I arrived. So
Right. I've been here for several years and so have some familiarity with the city. Although I'll bet, however bad you are with people, that part of the reason why this is convenient for me is that I'm worse with people. So that's interesting because that suggests that while people may come to us because we're both smart enough to get results, my character has the observant feat, so he's also pretty observant. And I have a little blue bat familiar that can go and like hide in crevices and I can see through its eyes. So that probably is helpful. I would imagine our office. So I have a lot of tool proficiencies and bought like all the tools, most of which are being stored in the office. I imagine that I have a very particular system for how they're stored and where they are and have them all set up in and just so in their place. So it's probably a very orderly office that looks a lot more like a workshop than it does like a detective agency. I don't know how big is our office. I was sort of imagining it being pretty small, just given the nature of the city.
Yeah, so even though it is one of the rare buildings that is occupied by a sole planar space, it is still very small. So
Right. So then I
probably
would say everything is densely packed in there, but organized so that I can, I know where every tool is at a moment's notice. I could probably find it without looking, given how long I've been here.
Um, I don't know where Fisk went, but
Sorry, I'm here.
so oh.
You just cast invisibility, that's all.
Yeah.
So Fisk, what would you like to add in terms of the impact you've made on the space? Oh, you're muted.
Minimal. While being very tall, being a Firbolg, it's I even just the concept of being inside is still odd to me. So at least into a stone structure. So not like I have a corner. I have some tools, but everything's in a satchel on my back or in a backpack. I don't have many things strewn about and helping me uh everything I have and need is I usually carry with me. So yeah, I'm not I haven't made this place home or anything. It's more just like a temporary stop, even though it's been a long time.
All right. So you two are plugging away, uh, doing whatever it is that you're doing. Uh, hey. Um, and then there's a knock at the door.
Here's the logo, by the way.
It's backwards.
Because you're inside. It's on the glass.
Right,
Got
right. Very cool.
There.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. I got to go outside to see it. Got it.
So I will go and answer the door.
So you answer the door, and before you stands a relatively tall, although not quite as tall as um Øðåťmaþ. Øðåťmaþ, how tall are you?
6'5".
Yeah, so not quite as tall as Øðåťmaþ. But still, for most normally sized people, would be fairly imposing. Uh, and he has blue skin, blue hair. He is well dressed. Um, and he also has a pair of wings that are draped over his shoulders. And so this is an individual that comes into your establishment. And also let me share screen too. So so and as you answer the door, he bows his head and says, "Hello, I am Bendon Mawl. I have heard of your inquisitive agency and was wondering if I might hire you for a matter that is of deep personal value."
Hello, I am Øðåťmaþ. You may come in. Fisk and I are certainly available to be hired. And if our services can be useful to you, we can always use the work. So I will lead him inside.
All right.
I mean, he's blue skinned, so I like him immediately.
I didn't even make the connection that both of you were blue and this guy was going to be blue.
Yeah, I thought that was intentional.
Maybe he's not really blue. Maybe he is making himself appear blue to be more sympathetic.
No. He sits down and sees the second person's like, this is awkward, right? We all wore the same thing.
Huh? Oh, Are you okay? Oh, Daddy's just laughing at something funny. It's okay. Here, have another check. Um, so is there a place that you can sit or
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah, I think
there's
there's a
chairs.
table. I would say whatever the fantasy version of a kitchenette is. Probably
Okay.
have that. Yeah.
I imagine there must be like a desk, like because we're sometimes unofficially sort of related to the fraternity of order. I imagine there's paperwork occasionally. So some place to do that. So a place across from the desk to sit down.
Uh, so he looks around and says, "Hmm, very interesting decor, but anyways, I'm not here to talk about your interior decorating skills. So let
Yeah,
me,
I didn't say that. I don't imagine it's decorated as much as it is orderly. Like it's probably sort of cluttered because of all the tools,
Mhm.
but they're precisely placed.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
Yes,
an organized mess, like a like mechanic's garage, if you will.
Right.
yes, and that is exactly what he is commenting on.
Yeah, he notices.
Um, and then he says, "So, um, I am looking for a person that I do greatly need to speak with. Tell me, are you familiar with seeking out missing individuals?"
We often must find people who have gone missing, especially in this city.
Yes. Yes, we find.
Good, good. And what of your familiarity with the Hive?
What would we know about the hive?
So you would know that the Hive is the poorest area of Sigil. Um, the most destitute live in the Hive. It is very dirty, and dangerous, as hardheads rarely enter there to enforce laws. And so it really is whoever happens to be in power or holding the most sway typically makes the rules and sets the tone, although, individuals may decide, to what extent they may follow that. It's also an area where uh bubbers, as they're known in Sigil, and barmies tend to lurk, bubbers being drunkards and barmies being crazy people. It's a highly unpleasant area to go to if you absolutely have to go there.
Our profession does take us there often enough.
Good, good. So I am seeking a man by the name of Eliath. He is believed to have information that I greatly require. The specifics of the information are quite personal. I'd rather not share them unless it is absolutely necessary. But I am very motivated to speak with this person, and so ideally, I would like to have him found alive and to have him brought to my presence so that I could get the information that I need.
Will he be coming willingly?
I do not intend to hurt him or torture him for the information if that is what you are asking. Uh, he does not.
I was merely thinking that we cannot necessarily abduct this man if he does not want to come to see you. So I was wondering if he knows who you are and would be willing to speak with you, or if he would have to be convinced.
He, I would be very surprised if he knows me. But in addition to whatever your fee might be for finding him, you can let him know that I'm willing to pay him as well for his time. Uh, I expect that won't he won't need much convincing. You see, he has been missing for quite some time and only recently was seen in the area of the Hive. My understanding is that he has aged poorly. He's quite scrawny. He looks like he's been missing a few meals and wearing blue tattered wizard robes. His hair is quite scraggly, though it is pure white. I'm sorry, one second. Maddox is screaming.
I did not think to take minor illusion, but this is the classic scenario where you work up a visual image of the guy.
Yeah. Yep, no luck.
I'm sorry, guys. One second.
No problem.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Uh, the other thing that you might notice is that he squints a lot. He's quite nearsighted.
You have not mentioned what species he is.
Oh, he is a human.
Oh, so not blue. Hmm.
Unfortunately, no.
That cost extra.
Where in the hive was he last seen?
I perhaps the gatehouse or the butcher's block. One of those. places. But from what I've understood, he he has been not staying in any particular place for very long. Of course, my contacts and the information that I have on Alioth's whereabouts are quite sparse, hence why I'm requesting your help in the matter.
So I would try to work up some sort of description, like tall, short, fat, thin kind of things, so that we have a chance, other than his clothes, which I imagine, could change.
Yeah.
We have some sense of who it is we're looking for, in case he
It,
doesn't respond to his own name because he doesn't want to be found, which I imagine happens a lot in that section of the city.
yeah. So Bendon goes on to say he is a short, wiry fellow. Um, with skin somewhat like cracked leather.
And you said you wanted us to bring him to you, so where will you be?
Uh, he provides a local establishment that he is staying at, which also happens to be a bar that you may frequent from time to time. So, eh, what is your fee for finding a person such as this?
So I honestly have no idea what the economy of Sigil is like in that regard,
Yeah,
or
I was gonna say.
what would be a good day rate.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a day or hourly rate, depending.
5 million gold.
The damn inflation again.
Yeah, with all these tariffs, we are going to need 5 million gold.
Uh,
Um, so I guess that raises a question like how do you imagine that you charge? Is it per case? Is it per hour? Is it per
Oh, I would
day?
imagine, yeah, I would imagine it's, a per day rate plus expenses.
Um, probably like 50 gold per day would probably be a reasonable rate.
Okay. Fisk being a Firbolg really has no concept or just desire for money. So it's just as soon as you start talking money, he's just like he just sort of not meanders away, but he's just sort of like ruffling through his desk, looking at some papers, jotting down notes for Elith, right?
Elias.
Eliath, thank you.
Yeah.
And like just the descriptions in his book in the book that you guys are talking about, but
The subject of money causes Fisk's eyes to glaze over as he
it
stares
it
into the middle distance.
it actually hurts him mentally. It's just like, yeah, bombarding a child with geometry. Yeah, it's about that.
I'm still tempted to take geometer as a subclass, so I may bombard you with geometry at some point.
That'd be horrible.
Here,
That
catch
actually would be
this.
cool. I'm curious to see how the geometer plays.
Catch the
I haven't
dodecahedron. Do
decided
not
yet.
touch the icosahedron. What? What?
Yeah. As I throw them both at you.
Is which one's which? It's the icosahedron. I don't know. Yeah, figure it out.
So, given what I know of Eliath as well as what I know of the Hive, and the importance of the information Eliath is believed to contain. I imagine that this is a task that may need more than the two of you. So I am willing to increase the fee in order to ensure that you have the manpower you need to get into the hive, find Eliath, and bring him back alive.
We can hire additional people if that will speed things up. I assume time is of the essence for you to get this information. We will also potentially need to, especially in the hive, pay people who are reticent to talk about what they know because they know that they can get money. We will keep a running tally of anything we have to spend, and we will try not to overspend.
I appreciate that. Do you have an idea of how long it may take based on your previous experiences?
I would say that we will start immediately. We will then have to check in with you if we don't find him relatively quickly. You will have to make the decision about whether or not we carry on. Sometimes people who go into the hive are never found, or sometimes they are found dead.
Oh, that would be quite unfortunate. The information that he is believed to possess is quite valuable to me.
I would say if we do not have a result in a few days, we will come and find you, and you can make a determination on whether or not to continue.
That seems fair. Well, is there anything else that you need from me to help in the investigation? Any other information or anything else
No,
perhaps that I can't
but
even think of?
Did he say what
based,
tavern he was staying at or bar?
Uh, you know
Or is it
what? It has been a while since I've done this. I'm gonna break
random
out
thing.
the story dice. Ugh. Oh,
If you will
this.
pay us 100 gold pieces a day, we can hire 2 or 3 additional people to help us ask around.
That's as acceptable.
What ward do you guys work out of?
The merchant district.
Um, so, uh, yes, so that is perfectly acceptable fee. Uh, as I said, I will be local for the time. Uh, I do not anticipate to be going out much, and so day or night, you should be able to call upon me if you come to visit.
I'm waiting to see what bar name you come up with.
Yeah, I gotta get all the kind of like 1,000 of these dice. I need to put them in a bag so I don't just keep reusing the same ones. Ah, crap. Just about fills this Crown Royal bag. All right, let's see. Where is he staying? He is he's staying at the Dazed Wizard.
nice?
So, uh,
So
so he,
where would be the best place for us to go to find like day workers or other party members?
so that is the next phase is either we could start with Chaz Collinsworth or Kiddo Kiddo Kiddo
Yeah, sure.
Kiddo.
So
Sure. Okay.
how long has Cadeau been in Sigil?
Since he was pretty young.
Because I just throwing this out there, I would imagine, given that he's a changeling, like he would be somebody we might have worked with before or run into before.
Almost out, undoubtedly. You need a
That's
you need
true. That's
you need to
true.
figure out how to get
Unfortunately,
there.
right.
You need to,
Unfortunately, we've run
yeah.
into him, but we don't know who he is, and he's always looks different. So he knows us, but we have no idea who he is.
Um, I would
Well, so
say
if I see
though,
you, I change to the one that you know. That way,
Right.
hey, how's it going?
yeah. So, and I think that this is the part where it's going to be fun and interesting because you all do know each other, but now we're going to kind of do a montage of you going and finding each of them. So, Kido or Chaz, either of you can start in terms of, describing where you might currently be as Fisk and Uthermeth. Uh, uh,
Either math,
either Beth?
either math.
Yeah, either you
Either math.
either
Either math.
tubular either.
Uh, so yeah. Uh, I'm just gonna call him Uther. Nah.
Hey,
It's
Uh,
Oof.
it's Uev Thorn. So it's just like it's
Not that
spelled.
hard. Come on.
So
Hey, Uthi.
um
The blue ones
so
are out on the street again.
yeah.
Here comes Cadeau.
Yeah, so let's start with Kiddo. So Kiddo, why don't you describe where you are, what you're doing, and whether you notice them as they're coming.
Um, I am hanging out in a busy space, just sort of scoping out. Occasionally buying like an apple or what some other little street food. It's a little bit of money that I happen to pinch from somebody, perhaps, maybe. They dropped it. I just picked it up, you know. And then yeah, I mean, I occasionally, sell services like you need to know how to get to this place. I'll show you the way. I know how to get there.
So I assume you'd be in some form that we would recognize.
Yeah, as soon as I saw you, for sure.
Ah,
Pretty young
Yeah, and
usually.
I don't know what the crowd general makeup is, but I'm nigh on 8 feet tall, so I probably stand out relatively well. So
So yeah, I see the two blue people standing next to each other, very awkward in the crowd.
so I mean,
I
once I see you, I would beeline in your direction. Kido, we have some work, and we think we can hire your services. We'll split our fee with you.
say less, friend.
We are looking for someone in the hive named Eliath, and I will describe him as, last seen in blue tattered clothes, a human, short and wiry, tends to
How long
squint a
ago?
lot because he's nearsighted.
I don't know if I would have ever have seen this person. I'm gonna guess not.
No, but if you wanted, based on the description, you could try to change form this to approximate what
Oh,
you're
yeah,
looking for.
sure. I suppose I could. You said he looks old?
Yes, that's what we were told. Old and scrawny, but short
White
and thin.
beard, long white beard.
Pure white, he said.
I don't like making myself look old. It seems weird.
So yeah, you change into something like that, and I would shrug and say, I don't know. I don't know what he looks like apart from how he was described. That's it seems right.
If he squints so much, it'd be awfully hard to see. If he just opened his eyes a little
He's
bit, maybe he could see better.
Um, it, kiddo, why don't you give me uh a performance or deception check to see how close you get.
I could do either one. It doesn't matter.
So it's kind of like
Hell
as
of a
Kiddo
fucking start.
transforms, he seems like he gets all of the characteristics right, but he's got a ditto face.
Yeah, yeah. I'm Oolong from Dragon Ball. You can't transform the whole thing, or not Oolong. No, yeah, it was a Oolong. Yeah, Shao Tzu could do it. Not Shao Tzu. That's not right either. Anyway, yeah. I don't.
I
Boo,
would st
It's
boo,
I would
still my
boo.
other face still in the middle.
Meijan Boo, right? He's the one that could transform.
He could do all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, this bothers me now. I can't remember.
I'm thinking of Plar. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Oolong and Plar had that ability to transform into other people, shape changers. But yeah, I think it was Oolong who wasn't very good at it. His face wouldn't change, or it was the other way around. I can't remember which one it was now. Yeah, like I said, I don't like making myself look old. Make myself back to this form.
but we hope to begin right away if you're free.
Oh, yeah. I mean, got nothing better to do. Where are we headed again?
Well, we will be going to the Hive, but first we want to pick up one or two more people.
Hmm, I
We'll be
know a
able,
guy. He's so cool. You guys are gonna love him.
by all means, if you know someone who would be helpful in finding this Eliath,
I don't know if it'll be helpful in finding it, but he will be helpful to have around.
then let's go see if he is available.
All right, so Chaz, where might Chaz be found and what might he be doing at this time?
Okay. So one, I take it the factions are still in place. There hasn't been like the crackdown because I know there's part of the history where there was a crackdown of the factions.
Yeah,
Uh,
so this takes place after the faction wars. Um,
Okay.
so the ones that are listed are the current factions
Okay.
in the player journal.
Okay. Oops.
Although other factions exist as well, just to, smaller
Right.
extents.
Okay. Good.
I will also go and try to find. I imagine if there's, I don't remember if Dustin said his character was like brand new to Sigil, but if I am aware of a Loxodon, if he from Ravnica, I probably would have gotten to know him for that reason alone. As I imagine, I don't see many people from home, but whatever. He's not available today. We couldn't find him.
Yeah. And we'll do this when Dustin gets back so that he can have his turn.
while we're walking around, I'm very like just trying to snake my way through crowds and just tailing behind you guys, just being vaguely uncomfortable with the everyone around and the buildings and shit. Just not my vibe. So I'm definitely keeping pace with you guys, but it's just trying to like squeeze past people and just yeah, not comfortable with everyone through the streets.
Okay. So it sounds like I know Cadeau, but I probably don't know the other two. Or at least,
I
well, I may, the way that you described it, which is fine.
it could be funny that you have met before. It's like, oh, this guy. We saw him
Just not all together. Yeah.
flashback.
So Chaz, with his flowing golden locks and sunglasses, uh, is talking to somebody who looks kind of sketchy. He's definitely not as tall as you. He's like 5'7", and wearing his sunglasses. He's just talking to somebody, engaged in a conversation with them, like out on the street. Like, um, I guess would see Cadeau. Cadeau would probably spot him.
I mean, you probably see, since Fisk is like 8 feet tall.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
7'8". Yeah.
Yep.
Is Chaz human or something else?
Aasimar.
That's right.
So there's like a glow to him.
Yeah, there he is.
Bros, hold on, bro. Hey, and he turns at the guy who's talking to. Good luck with that revolution and everything going on, bro. Break those chains. He comes walking over. Oh man, the blue skin bros. What's up?
Hello.
Hi, Chaz.
I am Øðåʔmaþ.
Excellent. Ooter.
Øðåʔmaþ.
Right, bro.
Right on.
We were hoping that you would be looking for work, as we have work and need to hire people.
Oh. Oh, you were considering me, bro?
Yes.
Whoa. Most excellent. I'm in, bro.
I am unfamiliar with your species. I am Vedalkan. What are you?
Aasimar, bro.
This is especially fascinating for me because, at least to me, from my culture, you are so hideous and off-putting.
Oh, right.
He doesn't know what he's
Yeah,
talking
bro.
about.
About this, so what are we out here doing, bro?
We are going to go to the Hive and look for a man named Elias. He is an elderly man who is nearsighted and was last seen wearing tattered blue wizard-like clothing.
Oh,
We need to
not
bring him to
cool.
our client.
We need to
We
get him
will
some
be able
clothes too, bro. That doesn't sound good.
that
Right, we
might
should pick some up on the way.
Right.
that might be a way to convince him to come with us to go and see our client. But we are willing to split our fee with the people who help us.
Right.
Are you available?
I just happen to be, bro.
Excellent. We could not find our fifth person, but hopefully they will turn up.
Well, lead the way, bros.
So yeah, I would start making our way to the Hive.
So
Where was he last seen?
We were told to start looking at the gatehouse or the butcher's block.
Easy to get there.
Depends on where it is, because like it's a whole ring, this city. So I don't know where we are relative to the Hive. There's also like that weird thing about how it's shaped like a tire. So if you're on one side of the gap, you've got to go all the way around the long way. to
Hmm.
get to get to the other side.
Um, so there are portals that can be used to traverse to different areas of the city. Um, those are the most expensive way to travel, because of their obvious convenience and uh, ability to work flawlessly each time. There are a kind of taxi service carried usually by creatures such as uh, gargoyles or Aarakocra. Um, that is much more treacherous as the gravitational changes along the way really affect the flight path and all of that stuff. So, you know, uh it's an option, but it's like 70-75% chance of actually making it.
So, I mean,
And
he did
how?
agree that he would pay expenses, but there's probably a limit to that. And we're being paid by the day anyway. So time may be of the essence for him, but it's not really for us.
Yeah, like how far vaguely is the hive?
Uh
Like I know
so
it's yeah, ring and all, but
so probably about 20 minutes if you were to take one of these special flying taxis. If you to walk, it would be probably like full day.
okay,
Uh, if you were to use a portal, um, like 5 minutes probably get to the nearest portal.
okay.
But
And
the but
just
once again, these are managed portals. So uh,
and and just so I know, like when you say the portals are the most expensive, like do we know how expensive they would be, or is that something we should go find out?
no, you would know. It's probably about 10 jink, which is cage or talk for coin. Uh, 10 jink to cross the portal. Uh, Probably like 2 jink for a taxi.
Okay,
So I would lean towards taking a taxi.
yeah,
Like walking all day doesn't make much sense because then we have to get back again at some point. Uh, but hey, 75% chance, that's pretty good.
I'll, I'll take those odds.
Right.
If you're paying for taxi.
is it like a flying rickshaw? Like, can we all go together, or is it
Yeah,
independent?
it's like a flying rickshaw.
Okay,
So yeah, you can all go together.
yeah, because 75 chance on each of us would be different.
Right. Then we need more people because the
Yeah,
odds of us all getting there is not
yeah.
that good.
Yeah, lose 1 in 4 of us.
Um, all right. So you find one of the taxis. It is it's being run by a couple of gargoyles. Um, Very large gargoyles, nearly as big as Fisk. Um, and you make the arrangements and agree on the price, and then they begin flying you up across the ring. At first, the flight seems pretty normal, uh, but then as you get closer to the center of the ring, gravity starts to shift dramatically, causing huge swings and sways, and just the experience of shifting G forces is incredibly nauseating. So somebody roll a percentile. Less than 25 is the avoidant area. Okay.
Who wants the honors? Oh, never mind.
So it manages to be, a successful flight. You hit your destination, but each of you give me a Constitution saving throw.
You're not doing well.
And I somehow completely forgot how to do this in the 2 months we stopped playing. There we go.
Yeah.
Let's click on the numbers.
So, ether meth. and Chaz, both of you start to feel sick and begin vomiting. I'll give you guys each a dexterity save to see if you get it out of the rickshaw or in the rickshaw.
In the rickshaw it is.
I was gonna say, can somebody insight to see like, oh, hey, fucking turn, maybe give them advantage, but
So Chaz begins by just hurling, which then causes Øðåʔmaþ to hurl, which then causes Chaz to start gagging and hurl some more. and now Godot and Fisk, just give me another Constitution save with advantage to see if the pattern of repeating hurls starts affecting you.
Chain reaction.
Yeah. All right, so you managed to chew it back.
It smells like home.
I'm just like, come on, really?
So vomit is getting everywhere. Everybody's clothes are just soaked in what the stomach contents of Øðåʔmaþ and Chaz. And you hear the gargoyles from outside yelling, "Oh, not again!" So you make it down to the edge of the hive, and the gargoyles, they say, "Oh, look at this mess! Who is going to pay for this?"
Oh, sorry, bros. How much jink do you need for the cleanup, bros? I can't help it. Taco Tuesday is my favorite, bro.
2 extra chink.
Oh, for you, bro. Okay.
All right. Get the hell out of here. But then
See you soon, guys.
Øðåʔmaþ
We can find a
notices-
different cab back after all that vomiting.
well, so
Yeah,
Øðåʔmaþ with
I know a shortcut. Like we could have just walked.
Oh, no way.
If you were gonna do that, I didn't realize.
Godot probably does know like a walkable route that goes through a portal.
I got the urchin back.
That's
now.
just like a natural portal. But anyways, Øðåʔmaþ, with your observant feet, you notice as you begin walking away, one of the gargoyles pulls out a wand and touches it to the inside, and it just is all instantly cleaned. Based on that, it's a wand of prestidigitation. And yeah, it doesn't seem like they're too put out by the fact that you all redecorated the insides.
So it seems like that happens a lot then.
Yes.
But we
Yeah.
didn't. But
They make a big deal out of it, getting a couple extra coins.
Yep, yep.
but we didn't notice that. He did.
Yeah, Øðåťmaþ did.
Okay.
I mean, my passive 12 didn't cover it. I probably know already.
Yeah, you would probably already know what's up. But also being an urchin, I can see you not wanting to interfere with, their
Oh yeah, they're doing their thing.
yeah.
It's not stopping me. I'm not paying them.
Yeah. So, kiddo, given that you are familiar with the city, and particularly, I would imagine, the Hive, you would also know a couple of additional uh places worth exploring. Uh, so when I restarted, I didn't bring up my notes. I should have done that. So yeah, so you would know, I mean, the gatehouse makes sense. Um, you and Øðåťmaþ are familiar with the gatehouse, which is essentially kind of a kind of like a homeless shelter of sorts, where the Bleak Cabal are in charge and they help people who are in need of help. Most of them are barmies, people that are just so addle-minded that they don't understand what's going on. That's kind of the specialty of the gatehouse, but also housing the indigent and providing food and what little supplies that they might. Um, so there's that.
So then
Uh,
this might be where, when I first got here a couple years ago, where I eventually wound up,
mhm.
because initially I didn't have any means of supporting myself, and the Bleakers took me in and took care of me.
Yeah. The butcher's block you would be familiar with is essentially a bar where the owner and barkeep is well known for collecting information as a hobby. Um, and so she's generally a good individual to catch rumors and word on the street. There's also the Blood Pit, which is an interesting place that is half gladiatory pit, half gambling den, uh half bar.
It's three
Um
whole halves.
yeah, which is possible in Sigil. So, that's the knowledge that you would have to draw from.
Right.
So as you guys are considering next steps, how do you want to proceed in terms of trying to find Eliath?
I think the best place
Bro.
to start would be the butcher's block, since if anyone's going to know off the top of her head, it would be the bartender there.
Bro,
Yeah,
we're not
intel's
finding
good.
anybody on an empty stomach, bro. I'm gonna need some food.
I think you can get food there.
Excellent.
Come on, this way.
So you make your way to the butcher's block. It is
You want it fast or you want to go scenic?
so interestingly enough, as you take the path that you do, you come across a massive dinosaur-like creature, just immense, like probably as big as 3 city blocks, and also seems to be completely still. And in fact, uh, with but with its mouth completely open. And people have built shelters and things all around this creature. Some people are like using it to prop up like tents and tarps. Some people have a fire pit going inside the mouth and are just kind of roasting some food scraps that they came across. Uh, other other areas you notice an entire paved road just built over the top of this thing and around it. Uh, it's an interesting sight to see. Um,
Is it a skeleton or is it like a
no, it's an actual thing. Um,
But does it
kiddo,
seem like it's dead, or is it?
yeah, or is it like just
it doesn't
paralyzed?
it doesn't seem to be moving at all, and it doesn't seem to be breathing. It doesn't seem to be responding to the fact that
Well,
there's a fire inside of its mouth.
but
Is
like
it?
the skin looks like it's there. It's like not like rotted or anything like that. It looks like if it's it looks like a photo of something that is living.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Um
Is it a budong?
Budong.
Farscape reference. Chiana was living in a giant creature that was in orbit of a planet called a budong, and that they were
Oh.
mining.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Uh so not too far off. Um So everybody can give me a history check with disadvantage. Godot, you can make it normal.
Uh, okay, okay. I saw the double fours pop up right as I clicked my button, but that ain't me.
All right. So, Godot, you would be familiar with this creature. Um, so it is an very interesting that uh, where is it? Hold on. So essentially, nobody really knows where this creature came from. It is completely alive, though, and it breathes very, very slowly. So it seems like it just is sitting still. Um, but it's also very clearly alive because the thing continues to have body warmth, which is something that those that built their shelter around it utilize to help protect them from the cold that can sometimes take over the hive. Um, and in fact, uh, one of the uh, one of the factions, which one I can't quite remember which one it is, uh, routinely attempts to kill the creature. Uh, but its hide and particularly its scales are so tough that no weapon even makes a scratch. But also because the people that have built their shelters up around this creature um, are protective of it. Oftentimes, the people organizing the attack can't even really get through the human wall that these people create. And it is a yearly event that happens, and some people actually come to watch because it's actually quite entertaining seeing this group try to kill this creature, and failing in every single aspect.
They've done one quest. They're now a high enough level to beat it, and they have not taken any other quests.
I mean, it sounds like the Doom Guard, since they think all things crumble and this thing is just alive.
For
Yeah.
however long.
Whereas the Dusters wouldn't care because this creature's already dead, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like, isn't that thing interesting? I could tell you all about it for about 5 silver.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander right up and into its mouth. I will pay 5 silver to learn everything you know about this creature.
I tell them all that.
meanwhile, the people in the mouth, like roasting their food, are like, "Hey, back off! This is ours."
What do you
Just
know
looking.
about this creature?
It's good for keeping out the rain, and that's about it.
Yeah, I do pay Cadeau 5 silver.
Amazing. I'm marking that shit down.
But how long has this been here?
No one knows.
What's keeping it alive?
No one knows.
Is this just its normal life cycle?
No one knows.
Or is it somehow magically frozen here?
Well, it's alive. I mean, if it were magically frozen, wouldn't all body functions cease?
Depends on the magic. The magic could simply slow down time around it. I believe Fisk has an interest in magic that could do something like that.
I'm literally like walking around its feet and just sort of like not kicking the tires, but just sort of like poking at it a little bit, just intrigued by this. What does it look? Is it like a dinosaur? Like, what does it sort of look like?
So,
Did I miss that
im
or?
imagine an iguana with a crocodile's head, but a vicious underbite.
Okay.
And its hide is soot gray, from all of the years of dust being built up around it. Um, and its eyes are serenely shut. Um, and yeah, it's just sitting there
Yeah.
lying on its belly. And the locals call it Behemoth.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like walking around the sides. Just I mean I know it's massively blocks long, but just like not really going in the mouth. That seems not a that seems odd. But yeah, just sort of walking around, just sort of just checking it out, just building up the nerve to eventually like poke it.
Come on up.
Right. I mean, I would go into the mouth because I'm curious about like they're not burning the creature, I assume. They're just burning fuel and the creature's just like the room in which this fire is burning.
Yeah.
They built a mouth or a house in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I called down. I see you. Again, I eyeball you down there, just sort of like not sure how. Like, come on. Listen, I've slept up here before. It's fine.
No, feet's ground. I just keep on walking around.
His feet are on the ground.
Yeah, I would go up. In fact, I don't necessarily care about Eliath at the moment. This is fascinating.
We're getting paid hourly, right?
Daily.
Daily.
All right. we should find him, then just sit on it for a while, right?
That would be unethical. Our rep, we will get more business by doing our work quickly.
But they won't know.
But that would be unethical. We wouldn't
Okay.
want to lie to a client.
No, absolutely not. You're right. Let's find this guy.
So yeah, I mean, I would probably still spend a little more time on the back of this creature, trying to determine if it really is a reptile or just happens to look like one.
I'm looking for a bucket of water.
I mean, there's plenty of puddles, and if you can have something that you could put some of the muddy water into, you could.
No, not muddy water now. I'm looking for a more fresh water.
Yeah,
Fresh
you're not going
herb
to find
water.
that here in the hive.
Bogus.
I mean, I would essentially be studying this thing to see what I can figure out about it. Like in particular, like I said, whether or not it is actually a reptile, and to the extent I can try to make a guess, even if even if it's impossible,
And that's sort of
try
what
to make a
I'm
guess
trying to.
about what plane it comes from
Mhm.
that it wound up here.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do on the outside as well. Not
Okay. I mean, you can both give me an Arcana check.
You know for a fact nobody knows where the hell this thing came from.
Um, so
and I'm assuming we have never seen this before.
no, you have not
Okay.
seen anything quite like this before. However, um,
I actually like the fact that somehow I was like destitute and living in this district and kept
Yeah.
missing
This
Godzilla
this
laying.
3 block monster. Yeah.
Sigil do be weird like that.
um,
I'm like, you've never been up here?
Like, how far is the diameter? Like, could the other, like on the reverse side, I'm assuming it's visible too, right? Or like how big's the diameter of the city?
the city is like a 5 mile diameter.
Okay, yeah, so they could probably see that from the other side, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
No, because it's closed up.
but yeah,
Oh yeah, it's built over. Yeah, never mind.
yeah, it's got things built over it.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the idea of it just being a legendary landmark that you were just completely oblivious to.
so I'm trying to think where would be the so you would guess based on the way that this creature uh looks, and because it seems to be like it is the way that it is, probably Arcadia or Acheron are your guesses of where it might something like this might hail from. Although you don't know the specifics about this kind of creature, but from from the details that you can gather, you know, those would be your best guesses. You would also tell that this creature must not only have an astoundingly long lifespan, but also the slowest metabolism of anything that you've ever encountered that has an actual metabolism.
Does
What
seem as
what's
though,
less
God,
clear to you is how it manages to avoid being burned or feeling the heat of the fire in its mouth, or being even just that completely unbothered by it. Because while this thing is completely covered in uh dense scales that seem to be really the same hardness as, steel or perhaps even adamantine, the inside of the mouth seems much more pliable, uh in a bit squishier. And yet, even with the flesh of it being a little bit more pliable, it is no less resistant to damage that as any of the scales. Because you can see where people have propped the mouth up with like tent poles, and clearly people are using like on its tongue and chopping food as they're putting it into the pot that is boiling over the fire, and it doesn't seem to be hurting the creature in any sense of the word.
so is like the tongue wet or is it dry?
It's dry.
Like I said, nobody knows.
So
This warrants further study. Perhaps we could go to Acheron at some point and see if we can find one that is more active than this one. Although they may all have slow metabolisms on the same order as this, and therefore be very still there as well. But it would be fascinating to see one that is more active, to see it in motion.
That's assuming there is another one of these things.
That is true. After we find Eliath, maybe we could come back, study this more.
If you
At
want the
least to do,
shortcuts, you know who to come to.
but I suppose we don't want to waste the client's time.
That
I
would be
say after
unethical.
I've right, I say after I've spent like 2 hours studying this thing.
so begin heading back on your way to the butcher block. While you're on your way, you notice an outside shop where a dabus is standing, and actually seems to be one. It it seems to be like dressed in a way that the dabus don't. All the dabus that you know are all dressed exactly the same and carrying the same items, and very much uniform. This one seems to be wearing something completely unique, and also seems to be tattooing somebody's back.
Have I seen this one before?
If you've come to the Hive, yes. And you would know that the locals refer to this Dabus as Fell.
Does he still communicate normally, like how
Uh,
Davas normally do?
he does. Um, but he has quite a bit more patience than other Dabas, and the pictograms that he uses seem to be much more user friendly to those that he might communicate with than they are with the typical Dabas. I mean, Davos only talk to each other as far as you've ever seen.
Mhm.
But this one actually does seem to talk with others.
We start approaching this guy's like, two incredible things in one day. You guys are so lucky.
Yeah, this also would interest me enough to at least stop and observe. Maybe not study quite as in depth as the giant, unique creature, but there's something unique about this guy too.
Yeah, and he's using the more ancient method of tattoo application where he's got the the um the spiky stick and he's like hammering it
Mhm.
into the skin.
I mean, I would be wary because he's one of the Dabas, so you know, I would not necessarily want to interfere with what they're doing because of the trouble that can bring. And I don't know, he's clearly unique, but I don't know whether like maybe this is what the Lady of Pain told him to do. Go forth and tattoo people. So so I would be a little more respectful and less hands-on with this guy than with the creature.
We getting tatted up, bro?
I mean,
That
if you
might be up to
want,
him.
you can
Um,
always you can always ask. The worst he could do is banish you from the city into the outlands or kill you.
Yes.
I've been practicing for a while. And I sort of like approach and attempt to communicate.
Um, what do you say?
Um, yeah, I'm going to try and keep it simple. Any salutations that I might know of, um, and help,
Wait,
help find. I'm gonna see if maybe this guy knows anything.
so you're gonna use like simple language like help find?
No, well, I was going to
Or
try and communicate with the sigils that I have tried to figure out for them. I got to be able to communicate with these guys eventually.
how are you
Um,
generating the sigils?
through my sorceress powers.
Do you have minor illusion?
No.
Do you want to swap minor illusion out for one of your cantrips?
Um, I don't know, maybe if I could figure out how to do it with the linguist feat, but just because of that third feature that we put on that's on there, be able to communicate with something very rudimentary.
Yeah, but you would still, I mean, it's
I mean, he's
it's
a
interesting because
changeling. Couldn't he just make it like a tattoo appear on his forehead?
that's true too. You could, or just kind of use your chest as a canvas. Uh, so that would be something that I would work as well. Um,
Yeah, I could take one of these out. I don't need that spell right now.
Well, you could use your flesh, your skin to kind of
Yeah,
create the symbols.
sure.
It's up to you.
Um, yeah, I didn't prepare it today, so you got to make do with what you got.
Okay. So the sentiment you're trying to communicate is in more everyday language. What is it?
Um, Basically, indicate that we are trying to find someone.
Okay.
And then after like sort of doing that, I can shift myself to be roughly what we're looking for. This other gentleman, squinty eyes, and then I just kind of like you got to imagine older. I'm not very good with old.
Um, so you basically use your skin to kind of communicate in symbols that you're
Mhm.
trying to find somebody, and then you change your face to try and mirror the description of Eliath.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I just
Um,
figured I would just go to how I got it last time, and just yeah, and then speak aloud. Just say, "You got to imagine older."
um, um, he uh he just creates a symbol of he, the symbol is a symbol of him going like
Oh, I've seen this one. He's holding up his head. He's got an idea.
um he also flashes additional symbols. Give me an insight check with disadvantage to see how much of it you get.
Boy, not good with insight. It's a shame about that disadvantage.
Yeah. So based on the symbols uh that you can gather, it seems like he's saying there are lots of people around like that. Uh, and go away, I'm busy.
So what is
Kind of
he
fast.
tattooing on this guy or girl?
Um,
Demon?
Yeah, that's true. I was sort of picturing a humanoid, but that might not be the case.
so it's a bit strange because it's a tabaxi, but one that had its back shaved. So there's that.
That would
Um,
be fascinating too, because why would a tabaxi get a tattoo when it's just going to grow fur over it?
um, but go ahead and give me a. So how long have you been in Sigil?
Uh, like 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so give me a history check, and rather than disadvantage, roll a d4 and subtract that from the total. Okay. So from what you understand, I mean, it's an unfinished design, but you almost get the sense that it is the symbol of Eoscar.
So I would say to the rest of them, that is even more curious. Why would a Dabus be tattooing the symbol of Eoscar? I mean, at this point, I might be fascinated enough that I'm like leaning in a little too close till the tabaxi like claws at my face to get me away and hisses. But with that, I would back off and speculate with the group about what this Dabus is even doing. Has anyone else seen a Dabus that acts like this? The ones I know all seem like they're on the Lady of Pain's business.
Only this one.
This one seems almost like a rebel, like one that is not working for the Lady of Pain.
Who knows? It's not like
But
people tell us.
I saw that you seem to know something of how they speak.
Yeah,
How
I'm
did you come
trying.
by that? How did you come by that knowledge? I've never seen anyone else attempt to speak to them before.
People try, but they don't do it like I do. They
Right,
got to speak their
nothing
own language.
right.
I've been
But
watching them for a very long time.
and have you had much success in talking to any of them?
Just now,
I
that
mean,
was the first time.
seem to roughly understand you. Does this one have a name?
I forgot what you said his name was.
Fell.
Yeah, they call him Phil, but obviously he doesn't call himself that.
Is that like the symbol he uses for himself?
I don't know. I don't think they have names normally. That's just what people call them.
I know very little about their culture or where they come from.
Yeah, everybody. That's the same. Nobody knows. Just as much a mystery as the big guy. Maybe even more so. They're quite fascinating.
But even more fascinating when you find one that does not behave like the others.
That's why it seemed like it might be okay to communicate.
I just realized Peter dropped off.
Because you're sharing your screen, I can't see everyone, and he's often quiet, so I also
Oh,
did not know.
He's there.
there he is. Sorry, Pete. It just looked like you weren't there for a second. Anyways. Um,
Well,
so
given how many things there are that are so interesting, it's probably going to take us a couple of hours to get to the butcher's block.
That's why I said. That's why I asked. Did you want scenic or fast?
I think perhaps from here on out we should do fast and then come back some other day.
As long as we get paid. Got to survive. It's hard on them streets.
Agreed. Sigil is a place with very little mercy for those that can't afford to live.
Yeah. So I'll start showing them going through some back alleyways. They're gonna get turned around for sure because this place is a maze.
Yeah. So, it only takes a couple of minutes from the Fell's tattoo shop, and make it to the butcher block, which is clearly a very rundown ale house. Um, it it has a place where there was clearly a sign at some point, but it's been gone, and the space that it took up is a different color than the surrounding wall. So it sticks out that there was a sign there, but it's not there anymore, and for who knows how long it's not been there. Um and so yeah, and you make your way in. It's So, Kido, you would know that it's very unsavory types that tend to come to this bar. Uh, but every every cutter in the cage knows that if you're in the hive, this is a place to go to get the chant on the street and to see the dark of things. So as you walk in, you see the many of the unsavory types of people that you might come across. And the one that sticks out most, though, is the barkeep, uh, Trunfeld Three Teeth, who is in an scarred old ogre. Um, and she is particularly disgusting because on her shoulder, one of her shoulders, she has these growths, whether they're massive lipomas or some kind of like cancer. It's hard to say. Um, but this is what she looks like. You will notice that she has all of her teeth, so it's unclear why she's called Three Teeth.
And don't ask her about it. That's me warning them.
Yeah. Oh, why did I put that away? So, um, you know, you make your way over to her, and she says, "What do you be having?"
I will look at Chaz and say, well, my friend has said he was quite hungry, but we are here to seeking information. Perhaps we should do business first and buy ourselves a meal.
Well, you want to buy a meal, you buy a meal. You want information, that's different.
Perhaps we start with the meal then. I mean, meanwhile, Chaz and I are still covered in the remains of our vomit.
Which makes you fit right in the hive. Uh,
Yeah, nobody's looked twice.
and then she says, "All right, here's the menu. Gruel and gruel with meat hunks. Which one you want?"
What kind of
What
meat
is
is it
the
today?
Like I said, meat hunks.
Yeah. You want to risk being a cannibal? I'll take the meat
it's
hunks.
All right, that's 3 Jeek.
Yeah, it's company dime today.
What about yous? What do yous want?
I will have the gruel.
Ah, you
Hold the meat
pussy.
hunks.
Hey, fellas,
Most
we got a vegan
excellent,
over here.
I
most
will.
excellent barkeep. I
I
would
will
like
inform her
gruel.
that I will inform her that I am not, in fact, a tabaxi, although we did just recently see one.
So she actually, that makes her laugh. Oh, we got a jokester in here. I can't wait to see what other material you got.
I look around for the
And
jokester.
uh and then so yeah, and then she looks at Chaz. What were you saying?
Oh, oh, my fine lady. I would like some gruel and a bowl of water, please.
You hear that, fellas? This cutter wants water. And others start laughing. Now, seriously, we got ale and we got ale. You ain't gonna
Uh,
find any water in here. None you want to drink in this. Yeah, anyways. Tons of piss. You can lick that up off the floor all you want.
no. Oh, that's bogus. What's the? Then give me some of your ale and a bowl, please.
All right. What about yous?
Tea?
You dim? We just said we ain't got water. What makes you think we got tea?
And without saying anything, he just sort of, I mean, not mean, but just sort of turns away. He's like, good. No, nothing.
So she walks away for a moment, comes back with a couple of bowls, um, full of gruel. Uh, the appropriate number of bowls that have meat hunks in it also have hunks of meat. Uh, they are interestingly colored. They're not white meat like chicken. It's not red meat like beef, but it's got a meat-like consistency to it.
I am going to this as good a time as any. Now that I remember I can do this, uh, I'm going to begin to try to cast a spell. And you see this. I have this elaborate sort of contraption that I wear around my body that has a variety of tubes on it, although it is mostly made of metal. And you see some fluid begins to flow directly through the tubes as I am going to try, even though I don't know the spell, to nonetheless cast prestidigitation using this Mizium apparatus of mine. And that is successful to cast a cantrip. And then I'm going to heat my gruel. And
Okay.
and for that matter, I'm gonna the prestidigitation lasts an hour. After I heat the gruel, I'm going to clean the vomit off myself and Chaz.
Hey, can you warm mine up?
I will heat up your meat chunks, sure.
So yeah, as you're just about to do that, you realize Chaz is about to take the ale and wash his hair with it, and he realizes what you're about to do. Oh, bro, excellent. The locks were
Um,
getting kind of sticky.
Can you also condition his hair?
Oh, don't worry, I've got my own product, bro. So
Of course.
I'm gonna go to Fisk. Are you okay, bro? Do you want some gruel or something, bro? You
Oh, I smells off.
it does. Are you okay? She said some mean things to you, bro. Are you all right?
I'm good.
That was totally uncool. Do you want me to demand an apology from her?
No, Fist, thank you. Fist good.
I look after my blue skin bros.
Meanwhile, Trunfeld points at Fisk and says, "You better not just bang around here without spending any jink. This place ain't for freeloaders."
Information?
Oh, right. You did ask for that earlier. Well, what kind of information you looking for?
Uh, I lower my hand, or yeah, I lower my hand to about, I don't know, human height, a short person. Old man, white beard, blue garb.
Yeah, it might be a barmy codger.
Are you addled? Why are you talking like that?
I turn slightly confused and I'm like, forest.
Bro ain't from around here.
I'm gonna suggest that one of you others speak for him.
I'm gonna suggest that you drop the attitude.
This here's my establishment. You don't like the attitude, you can leave.
I look back at Chaz to see how he is going to respond. Just interested by the exchange.
I was gonna offer to take care of that hideous growth you got there. It looks kind of sus, but now that with that attitude, I ain't touching it.
Oh, you mean Mitch? Mitch is all right. I was born with Mitch.
Oh, yes.
But what my friend was trying to say is we are looking for someone named Eliath. He is a human who is dressed in tattered blue wizard-like garb, and he was seen in this area. We merely want to ask him a few questions, or at least we have a client who wants to ask him a few questions and would be willing to pay him for his time.
Uh, well, I got the chant if you got the jink.
How much would it cost us to get the information?
20 jink.
Perhaps we can agree on 10.
I think we can agree with 20.
Listen what my bro said. Did you consult Mitch? I think 10 is good, bro.
And I think 10 is a bunch of bullshit. Look, you come in here wasting my time talking about eating gruel without the meat hunks. What kind of business is this you think this is?
I don't know. You're running it.
Exactly. Which means I set the price. You want the darker things, you got to go through me. Or you could find someone else and kick rocks.
All right. Can I ask one question?
You're free to
How do,
ask whatever you want. Whether I'm
how
going
do
to
we
respond,
know?
that's a different story.
How do we
Wait,
know your information is even what we're looking for?
Well, that's for you to decide after the transaction. But if you know me, you know I got my ear to the ground.
I do know you.
All types of the Hive come here, congregate. All I do all day, I listen. Now, that makes me a pretty attractive individual to come and seek information for. But if you want to shop around, go ahead. See if you find anyone that can get closer to the truth of things. Now, what's it gonna be?
Do you have
I
a
think we should
10
ask.
jink option? Maybe a taste? Something to help us decide if that other 10 is worth it?
I kind of think you already owe 10 jink with the few food you got there.
Oh, like I said, that's company dime right there. And I just point to Uth right there. He's got that part of it, for sure.
I don't know what company dime means.
Me neither.
Company jink.
What's that?
Company jink.
No, I think we should try to find Eliath on our own. And if we have to, we can come back and pay the money. But I cannot afford to both pay for the food and pay 20 for the information. Also, I am curious, why do you offer gruel without the meat hunks if you do not want anyone to eat gruel without the meat hunks?
It's my way of testing who you are. See, I come to understand that people who ask for gruel without meat hunks, they're a certain type of way. And so far, it's not disappointing. Because you exactly the type of people come into here, come into my establishment, try to set the rules, and then argue with me when I offer a service and you say, oh, that's too much.
I was merely concerned, as my friend suggested, that the information you would give us would not be the precise information that we need to find the person we need to take back to our client. And so 20 gold would be quite expensive for information that ultimately turns out to be a red herring. Though I am glad we did not disappoint you.
All I'm going to say, things might be a bit time sensitive for you.
And if we cannot locate this man by searching the streets on our own, we will certainly be back relatively quickly.
Well,
But
I mean,
I will pay her the 10 gold. Although I think there's only 4 of us and 3 of us ate. I will pay her 10 gold
Uh,
because she
well,
wouldn't cheat us. Like this must. I didn't ask what the price of the gruel was. Maybe it's more than the price of the gruel with meat hunks. Who knows?
it probably is more because it's more like she cooks it all with the meat hunks and then she just picks it out.
Right.
But I do think that a couple of people got drinks as well. But I could be wrong. But still.
I mean, so Chaz got ale. I didn't get a drink. I don't remember Cadeau getting a drink.
No, we got straight to business. I was busy.
So I would finish my gruel and suggest we try the gatehouse and keep our eyes peeled for this dude.
Right.
Well,
Gatehouse, my
good
people,
luck
bro.
trying to find this person. Because based on your description, it could be any Addlebrain Bommy or Bubba. Pretty much throw a rock, you hit 10 of them right out the door.
How much to just point us in a direction?
20G.
And I suspect we will be back, but maybe we will get lucky. Throw a stone and hit 10 of them means that there are lots of them for us to find.
I'm going to take out 2 Jink. This is for Mitch. Mitch, make sure she don't turn stag on us, bro.
Mitch, thanks you.
Yeah. I imagine they start leaving. I'm like the last one to go. I'm like, I just shrug. Oh well.
So start for the gatehouse. Or what was the other place? Forget what you said.
There's the
Butcher block, or
gatehouse,
no,
Oh, the blood
the
pit.
blood pit.
blood pit, yeah.
Well, I mean, if there's one along the way to another, can try and hit it.
Well, they're both about equidistant from the butcher's block.
Equidistant in opposite directions.
Yeah.
So then we chose poorly. We should have gone to one of those other places first. We chose the middle one. So yeah, let's try the blood pit then. Since can never go wrong with gladiatorial combat and bar. I like to think like that's underneath. It says like the blood pit, and then underneath it says gladiatorial combat and bar.
Games inside.
So you go to the blood pit, and what you see is basically a like kind of like one of those trusses that you might set up for an outdoor wedding to walk through, except much more dilapidated and just screwed hammered together with a sign that says blood pit painted over the top. Blood is BLUD. And it looks like it's less of a gladiatorial arena and more of a little literal hole in the ground with full of a mud pit with a bunch of stones and broken chairs all around the outside of it. But each seat that's available is full with, people watching the the current fight that's going on, being very entertained. Um, and then there's an outdoor bar where you see uh, could be a gnome, but he wears a monocle and seems to lack arms. Um, and he's taking out and serving drinks with his feet, and then also taking coin from this people that are kind of walking through the crowd and taking bets. Um, and then he looks over at you, and this is what you see. Oi, we got some new customers here. So, well, you have.
I look to them. This isn't him, is it?
No, we were told we were looking for a human. Also, I hope our client would have mentioned if he had no arms.
Yeah, would have been kind of important.
I would ask the Belgar if he happens to know somebody named, what was his name? Get the guy's
Elias.
name. Yeah, Elias. And briefly describe him as like a short, wiry, elderly guy who has trouble seeing.
Ah, it sounds like a bunch of people that might come in here. So, lots of people by that description.
And perhaps we should go and watch the combat and figure out if we want to place a bet on one of the competitors.
Well, let me tell you how it works here. It's free to watch. Anyone's welcome. You want to place a bet? You place it with me, and win or lose, I get a cut. Now, of course, if you win, we'll make something. But I always get my piece. If you want a drink, it's a jink a drink. If you want to fight, well, if you win, you'll get half a chicken, a can of dried beans, and a free drink ticket.
Perhaps we should just go watch the fight then.
It's more profitable. Do you get to keep the things that they throw into the cage? Into the fight?
Oh, yeah. You find all kinds of things that people leave around here.
So I'm going to begin like scanning the people who are here to see if I can find Elias.
So there's a bunch of people here that are pretty ragged. A couple of them are older. No one quite matching the description that was given for Elias. I mean, one person looks like he could fit the bill, but his hair isn't exactly white. Another person,
Dirty? Is it just dirty?
I mean, it could be dirty. Um,
I would consider myself an expert, so if you point it out to me, I'll be able to tell if it's dirty or if he's bleached it or what.
I would agree with you, Peter. You could tell from a mile away that it's just really, really bad hair dye.
That bro needs some
So
work.
I am going to try to cast prestidigitation again, which I'm successful at. And I'm going to surreptitiously go up behind this guy and begin to clean and or undye his hair to see if it's pure white underneath. Just like a patch in the back.
Tell me what it looks like for you to cast this through the museum apparatus.
So as before, you begin to see these fluids begin to move throughout the tubes into the museum apparatus itself and out the other side. As I, begin to speak the words that otherwise would cast the spell. It's not exactly as if the apparatus itself glows, but there is a gurgling noise as the fluids begin to move and shift.
So,
I would add there is something I just forgot the characteristics of Mizium. There would be like electrical arcs that move between the different plates of this machine.
so the person, as you cast it on them, seems like they're just very deeply entranced in the fight that's currently going on, and doesn't seem to notice. As you do this patch of cleaning, uh, it looks like the hair underneath is like a kind of blonde. It's like a more of a platinum blonde, but not exactly white.
Disappointed, I will leave him with like the one patch of platinum blonde still showing. I do not think this is him. He does not have the pure white hair we were told to look for. But I will still look in the pit. Who knows? Maybe we'll find Eliath fighting in the pit.
For his fucking life. Yelling, "Get me out!"
What you see down in the pit, it appears to be a pair of shirtless halflings who have their hands tied together, and then the other hand is like a small club.
Oh, cool.
And they're just kind of
that's one
exchanging.
person. Oh, okay.
No, they're just kind of exchanging blows.
That is also fun. I thought it would have been hilarious if that's them. They like are it's rounding about a rule by just tying themselves together so they could fight together. So and then it's like two fucking halflings tied together, running at you, running at something else.
Like a three-legged race, except fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Two halflings tied together fighting against three goblins in a trench coat.
Um, so a moment later, Fisk, you turn around and you look back at Felgar and you notice that he's like going like, hey, hey, and he's like kind of jumping and like off of one foot and putting the other like up as like a wave with his foot and then doing again, just kind of waving with his other foot.
I drop down to like a knee and yeah, get low. Yes, what is it?
Hey, so I got to thinking. You guys are like looking for someone?
Yes, old man, white hair.
Well, I don't know about like old man, white hair, but hey, I got this thing that I've noticed. You know, there's there's a bunch of bubbers and barmies that seem to be coming up dying, like way more often than you would think would happen around here. So, you know, I got theories if you want to hear my theories. But if your friend, if he's a little addled in the mind, or if he's a drunk or a drugger, he might be coming up in the dead book.
Fisk is enthralled, and he like fully just like sits down with a big thud, just right on the floor, just captivated, listening intently, like sitting cross-legged, almost like his hands underneath his chin, and just like enthralled.
So, here's what I'm thinking is happening. There's this shadow fiend, and he's eating the souls of the people he puts in the dead book. And I think this governor found a way to gain power off of feeding off their souls. Whoa, but here's the best part. This guy wants to actually unseat the Lady of Pain. Like, what kind of moron thinks that they can unseat the Lady of Pain? I mean, she's gonna put him in his mazes or chop him to bits before he even gets close. But he thinks that he found a way to get power by absorbing these people's souls after he kills them. And I don't know exactly why he's targeting bubbas and bombies, but I mean, people are less likely to ask about those kooks. People that aren't likely to care so much. But
how'd you find out?
Well, I might have seen something in an alley with somebody like, some basha like killing a guy. But it was weird because he didn't even touch him. Dude just dropped dead. So they'd never seen anything like it. The collectors came and they went and picked the guy up, after they worked him over and got all his possessions. Not that he had much, because I mean, it's just a bubba, but it's weird.
But you see one murder and you think,
but it's not just any murder. It's not just any murder. He didn't touch him. No knife.
Magic.
No bopper. No sparkly magic. Just walks by and the guy dies. Next thing you know, he's ended up in the mortuary.
Interesting.
But the thing is, there's been people all over the Hive dying, just left and right. Now, nobody cares, like I said, because they're all just a bunch of addle cold bubbas and bombies. But, some people notice. I noticed. But yeah, I mean, there's no other way to explain it. I mean, this guy's eating their souls. I mean, come on. And if somebody's eating souls to trying to get power, why would you try to get power in Sigil if it weren't to try and overthrow the lady?
I don't know. I stand up and slightly dumbfounded and confused, but also honestly believing him. I just like not quite understanding it, but like understanding his perspective, but it's like Fisk sort of believes it, but he's going to keep it to himself. He's like, I just like, yeah, I'm sort of like, yeah.
And the guy raises his foot to his head and kind of goes like, imagine the stones on this guy. if he's going to try and overthrow the lady, eating souls, trying to get that power.
So I start walking back to, or do we have like a table or group, or are we just like sort of interspersed in the crowd?
Just interspersed in the
Oh,
crowd.
okay. All right. Um, yeah, I tell Felgar, I'll I'll keep eye out for her, but seems a little scary.
Yeah, it's scary. People dying without being touched. Don't make sense. It's not natural.
If I find anything, I'll let you know.
Please do. And I don't want to end up in the dead book myself.
Me
I'm
either.
too young to go into the mortuary.
So
Um,
I head back to find someone. I don't think I'm gonna say anything really about this because that's I think Fisk needs to think about this.
so does it look like the two halflings are like trying to beat each other to death?
Give me an insight check. It doesn't seem like they're pulling punches or thwacks.
So I
But
guess I
it's
would
very
say,
entertaining what they're doing.
Which one do you think's going to win?
I don't know that it matters. It seems as though one of them is just going to beat the other until it dies.
Bro,
Um,
they're all taking L's here.
that
So
doesn't mean we have to. We can. You can bet money if you pick one and he wins.
so as you guys are talking, all of a sudden you hear a thunk and the crowd goes wild. And you look down and one of the halflings is on one knee. Uh and the other halfling is like, yeah. And then the halfling that's on his knee goes and like whacks right into the other one's balls. And that one goes down on one knee. And you hear another crowd going wild. And then they just start exchanging junk shots.
Hit me in the jimmy.
Well, at least it seems like that is less lethal than what they were doing.
Probably for the best.
But I do not see our quarry here. And everyone seems to be pretty absorbed into this fight. I don't know if they will want to stop and answer questions about whether or not they know this Eliath fellow. Although it sounds as if from his tattered clothes and otherwise, there has been a lot of talk about the various crazy people here, which suggests that perhaps we should go to the gatehouse. Maybe he has wound up in the hands of the Bleakers. Certainly, it would not hurt to go and see if they have seen someone fitting that description.
I'll lead the way.
Uh,
It's likely that Trunfeld is going to charge more chink now that we've left. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, that would be true if we go back in and tell her that we want the information now. But I know someone who can change his shape and go in and say that he is also looking for this Eliath fellow.
Like, give it a shot. she's pretty she's not dumb. She knew that you needed water to make tea. That's not common around here.
But she may think we just have competition to find this Eliath.
While we're walking, I asked Cadeau, do you know Felgar?
Do I know Felgar?
Yes.
No.
Oh, the guy, the previous guy, the 1 foot guy. Yeah, okay. Okay, he told me weird things. Don't know if I can trust him.
Oh. What did he tell? Okay.
Shadowy murder deaths. Stealing souls, gaining power. Seems a little much.
And what were the okay.
I don't
Facts. What are the facts? What's the speculation?
yes, exactly. Gaining power to seize Sigil. What is it? Sigil?
Sigil.
Okay.
It's okay. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out in 40 episodes.
I was telling Fisk that.
I tell myself that too. But that's a series of murders, someone attempting to steal souls and gain power, and seems I don't know if I can trust him. He seems.
Has he seen them?
Allegedly.
He's seen the shadows?
A death. A murder.
I see.
And what was his interest in these murders? Did he want us to investigate them?
Maybe. Seemed like he just wanted to tell a story, to tell you the truth. I mean,
maybe for the best. It sounds dangerous.
It sounds very dangerous.
See, that's the thing about these old people. They're just always looking for a way to be helpful.
Did he suggest that this is somehow related to Eliath?
No, none. Just people dying under.
People die here all of the time. That's what happens in this ward.
Called the circle of life, bro.
The city is a circle.
Oh,
perhaps it was just a friendly warning then.
Yes. Well,
to be wary of shadow demons.
Stealing your soul, yes. Everyone keep an eye out for them.
Right. Because, like, bro, if this was like a one-shot, bro, we would look for that shadow demon. But it's not. We gotta, like, stay focused.
Would be funny if that was just a complete red herring. Nothing, just random gossip he's throwing out there.
Heart attacks.
Yeah.
So I think we're heading to the gatehouse now.
Right on, my people, bro.
That's true. To the extent they're sick, imagine getting a visit from the Chad Collinsworth. Chaz, sorry, I said Chad.
It's all good, bro.
Is that short for something?
No. Good talk, bro. Good talk.
All right. Chazmanian
So,
devil.
yeah. The whole rest of the campaign will really be us trying to find out Chad's full real name.
Chazarino.
Chazworth.
Chazworth Collinsworth.
Chazstein.
Chaz Dog S. Collinsworth,
Esquire.
Esquire.
Maybe his dark secret is it's something uncool, like it's like Chester, and he shortened it to Chaz.
That's the history he doesn't want us to know about.
Right, his dark secret.
All right. So you guys make it to the gatehouse, and the gatehouse rises above the slums that surround it like a gray icon of despair. The streets around the gatehouse are the dirtiest and most dangerous area of Sigil. A line of desperate people forms before the doors of the gatehouse, seeking a place in the Cabal's almshouse or committing a new barmy to the Bleaker's care. Bashers of the Bleak Cabal roam through this anguished group, taking names and making sure that no cross-traders prey on those throwing themselves at the Cabal's mercy. So, so you get there and you, so do you try to just linger in the line or do you try to get
Oh,
in?
bro, we're going
Or-
in. These are my peeps.
So Chaz, how do the people of the gatehouse react to seeing the Chaz Collinsworth?
How did the people react?
Yeah.
Chaz has probably only been here a few times because he's a namer, and he's a namer of quite a few factions. So he's like that guy who pledges at a bunch of different fraternities and never actually joins. But
Yeah, but this is like, Make-A-Wish Foundation sends their celebrity in.
uh, I don't know how. I mean, I guess if there was some people in the line that I maybe saw him a couple times, like probably by the way he's dressed, now that he's not covered in vomit, he probably stands out because he doesn't look like, probably looks like he's got money.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
and he would actually be doing, helping poor people. So it's not like he's just here posing.
mhm.
So he would actually be doing stuff.
Well, you have from your both from your paladin ability with your lay on hands as well as the Aasimar ability to add into that pool. I mean, you are able to provide some pretty significant healing for those
Wait,
who
what
are
did I hear?
here.
Those stack?
Yes.
Whoa! I didn't think they did.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I mean that makes sense. I am Chaz Collinsworth, so of course it would. So yeah, he would have done that. And if there's anybody in the line that's particularly in rough shape, like on death's door, I would maybe I would give them a hit point.
Okay. Well, I mean, for, these people here in line, the difference of a hit point is literally potentially life and death.
How many are in line?
There's a lot.
Okay.
But, what happens is as you do this, well, first of all, what does it look like when you use your lay on hands?
Well, it's definitely a back rub. You know how you grab the shoulders and you do that? Yeah, that's what it is.
Is there any light that emanates from the use of the
Oh, there's always light. There might be a little extra.
excellent.
I mean, it
So
could be that like behind the shades, suddenly it's like there's just backlighting under the shades.
Yeah. Bro, you're so tense.
it's like I'm giving them hit points, but like they're giving me the sense of awesome.
That he's giving unasked for back rubs makes the whole Chester theory much more plausible.
Um, so as you're standing and doing this, one of the bleakers takes notice and begins walking over. Um, and at first their attention was on Chaz, but then they see Uth Uth Uther Met
Right on, bro.
other meth.
Math.
Um,
Either math. Either math.
uh, and he says, Øðåʷmaþ, and you recognize this individual.
Theory.
Yeah.
Theory. It has been a long time.
Indeed, it has.
This
What?
place does have many memories for me from the time when I was assisting people here, when you were taking care of me.
Yes. It seems you've made some friends that are equally charitable.
Yes, we are here seeking information, but we have no problem helping the people who are here while we visit. This is my friend Fisk. He was very much like me when he first arrived, so I took him in. Now we work together. We help to solve minor mysteries that people bring to us. At the moment, we are looking for someone who very well may be interned here, as many people have suggested he may be, as they say here, barmy.
Ah, yes. Well, if you don't mind waiting for a while, I can certainly check the records. As you may remember, everybody that crosses the threshold of the gatehouse has their name entered so that we can keep track of those who have lost their faculties.
We
So I
would not
can,
mind. We would not mind waiting. If there's any way we can help while we wait, that would be fine.
it will take me
I,
about a day. There are many records to move through. What is the name of the person you are seeking?
his name is Eliath. He is a human, possibly a wizard, in that he was seen in tattered wizard clothing. He's quite old, apparently nearsighted, short, leathery skin, squints a lot because of his vision problem.
I wish that helped narrow it down, but unfortunately, there are many that would fit this description. So, as I said, it will take me about a day, but Øðåʷmaþ, there is a concern that perhaps you can assist with while you are here.
Of course. What is the concern? And by
Well,
the way, it's Øðåʷmaþ.
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 Øðåʌmaþ.
Øðåʷmaþ.
I'm sorry, my Githyanki tongue is not equipped to make those sounds. But
Well, then that is okay.
I am sad to say that it seems somebody has been killing our people. Not the Bleakers, but rather the individuals that we help. Now, of course, murders happen in the Hive all the time, but it seems a much higher frequency that the people we help are ending up in the dead book.
This related to some shadow who is stealing their souls. So we recently heard rumors of such things.
I
Or at
have
least my
heard
friend Fisk has, and then I heard it from him.
I have heard no such thing. All I know is that people are dying. The people we help more often than usual. I'm unsure why someone would target the addle-minded that we serve, but here we are. It seems to be the reality.
Do you know anything about the method of their being killed?
I do not. For
Is
that,
it a
you may.
similar death in every case?
I do not have this information, unfortunately. And given the needs of the gatehouse, I've been unable to pull myself away to do the work necessary to learn more. But given that our people are dying, it may be worth checking the mortuary.
Well, since it would take a day anyway, I have no problem doing this as a favor to see what we can learn. Can you provide us with the names of some of the dead? It may help to narrow it down if we can go to the mortuary and see their bodies. The recently dead would probably be best.
I I could provide names, but I would once again need to check my records. And unfortunately, while I know that people are being killed, our rewards are being killed, I do not know which ones. There are many that cross this threshold, many that we care for. Though I do not know the specifics of who is being hurt, I simply know that it is happening.
So this is out of character. If we were, from what my character would know, if we were to go to the mortuary, would they let us just sort of start randomly inspecting the dead?
No. You would be able to get the opportunity to maybe see um you would be able to ask them for records of who has recently been interred. Uh, but they don't typically let those who aren't dustmen just wander their facility.
I really dislike dealing with the dusters. But I suppose we can go and ask questions. Perhaps they are interested in this mystery as well, although theirs is one of the philosophies I've never completely understood. It seems more delusional than anything else. Most of the factions have philosophies that I can understand better than the notion that we are all already dead. And in this case, that might make them less likely to even be interested in the mystery, since it just means that the poor and infirm here in the Hive are more dead than normal.
Yes, dealing with the dustmen is always a trial.
Still,
They're
it won't hurt to ask questions. Perhaps we can pretend to be dustmen or interested in joining the faction.
Accident.
Well, I will not attempt to offer any guidance on how you might achieve your ends, since my knowledge of such things is limited. As you know, I have rarely stepped foot outside the gatehouse since I've been here. So I will leave it to you to determine the best way forward, but I will appreciate your help.
Of course. We will return tomorrow to see if you can find anything about this Eliath person.
Yes, I will do my best. The records are vast, but thankfully they are organized. Makes it at least achievable.
And tomorrow we can tell you what it is we found, if anything. I don't know yet how easy it will be to track down information on this mystery.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I will do my best to provide something of use.
So I think we should head for the mortuary, I say to the rest of the group.
It's taking a lot of time.
It sounds as if we won't get information on whether or not this Eliath was in the gatehouse or still is until tomorrow anyway.
Yeah,
At
maybe you
this
can get
point,
some
you are
information.
seeing the subtle transition in the sky from day to night.
How long have we been wandering around the hive? Has it been like all day?
Yeah, it's been a few hours. I mean, the behemoth alone took up like a good hour.
Right. So I don't necessarily need all of you to come with me, but it would be appreciated if we can all go to the mortuary, since apparently there may be some sort of demon that eats souls. I say that like it's making the offer more attractive that you can come and protect me.
Is there a hazard pay if we encounter something? If yeah, what's going on with
Oh
that?
no. I mean, maybe the demon will have something we could take that is of value, but otherwise, no. This is just a favor for a friend of mine who will be doing us a favor of providing us with information.
If time really is of the essence, it might be too late.
It is possible that Elias would be dead already, possibly even killed by whatever is killing all these others. But then there is nothing we can do about that.
And maybe they have some magic to speak with dead people.
They may.
Well, I think I know where the morgue is.
So I guess we should figure out in advance, do we want to pretend to join the Dustmen in order to possibly gain access to the mortuary?
What do you mean,
They
bro?
are.
Pretend nothing.
What do you mean?
You just let we can hear it out, bro. Listen to what they have to say. Maybe like get a tour, you know?
Chaz has been pulled into so many timeshare offers.
It's funny because my brother-in-law just came back from a trip to Florida that he earned by listening to a timeshare pitch.
Mhm. I did that
Like,
once with my mom a long time ago, right before starting high school. We went down to Florida because she won a trip. Listen to a timeshare spiel.
That happened to my grandmother once. She won a trip, and it was actually really just they put her in a room and wouldn't let her leave as they badgered her to pay for a timeshare.
Uh,
So head for the mortuary.
All right. Let's wrap up there for tonight.
Okay.
Um, so